Brian Beauchamp performs the final checks on Hayden. He gets set to enter the cage, and I'll turn it over to my partner in crime, Mr. Dean Panis, for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, our fourth bout of the evening is scheduled for three 3-minute rounds in the AFC Amateur Lightweight Division. The man in charge when the bell rings is your referee, Mr. Len Koivisto. Introducing first to my right in the blue corner. This man is a striker. He comes in at 6 feet even, weighing at 155 1/2 pounds, representing Kensei Martial Arts. From Red Deer, Alberta, Nathan Warrior Wilkins. And introducing his opponent to my left in the red corner. This man is a street fighter. He comes in at 6 feet even, weighing at 155 1/2 pounds, representing Knuckles MMA. From Calgary, Alberta, Hayden Harrison.
I think Nathan Wilkins is feeding off the energy as much as Hayden Harrison is as we head into the first round here of this amateur MMA bout. I don't think there is any freer style for fighting than street fighting, as Hayden Harrison knows how he gets things done.
That's what he requested when I asked him at the beginning of the night when I went to the dressing rooms and asked him, what type of fighter are you? He goes, can you tell him I'm a street fighter? I said, I can tell him whatever you want, kid.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's funny, in MMA, I've met guys like Krzysztof Szynski, for example, who's never been to street fight in his life. As Nathan Wilkins gets to work early, lands a nice flip and right into the guard of Hayden Harrison. And then you've got guys like Hayden Harrison who've definitely been in an alley or two throwing knuckles in their time. Straight away, Hayden here fishing for the triangle. Wilkins feeling it, smashes down.
Big slam by Wilkins, and it's one thing about slams. If you don't finish the fight with a slam, there's a very good chance you're in a bad position when you come out of it.
No, and Harrison definitely used that to lock it in tighter here. This is tight. Wilkins might not be able to get out of this. Can't see if he's got that arm pulled across. That's the only thing missing. The only thing keeping him there is he still hasn't pulled that arm across. Dean, if you look now, Hayden Harrison's pulled that arm across. Even though Wilkins has got his hand in there, Harrison might be able to pull off, but I think he does have his hand in there, in between his neck and head. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Harrison to finish this submission here. You notice he hasn't got his feet real tight under that knee. There's enough air, just a little bit for Wilkins to breathe, and he's out.
He switches to an armbar, however. Great job by Wilkins there.
Yeah, Wilkins got out of there, but Harrison, I think, knew he was going to be slipping out, went for that armbar, but Wilkins having none of it, and they get this fight back to their feet.
It'll be interesting to see how the cardio is of Hayden Harrison now. A lot of times when you work hard for that submission and don't get it, you spend a lot of time exerting yourself, and when you come out of it, you don't have the gas in the gas tank you did. And that's what you'll see a lot of veterans when they do. If they know they're not going to be able to finish the fight with that submission, they'll just give it up.
Well, you know, like I saw Harrison come in really excited, really jacked and pumped from the crowd behind him, but as soon as he got in this cage, he just started taking deep breaths, relaxing, calming down. Knows not to get too worked up. He's had a couple fights, and that experience is definitely serving him well here tonight. As we move into the final 30 seconds of the opening frame. And again, another nice takedown by Wilkins, as he grabs that wizard and just flips Harrison down. Harrison quickly, though, moves into a closed guard. Harrison's doing absolutely nothing here. Perhaps he's praying, maybe catching some Z's, but he's done nothing but plant his head in the navel of Hayden Harrison as the round comes to an end.
And you can actually hear the corner of Nathan Wilkins with about 20 seconds say, just sit, get out of this round. The biggest, you know, a lot of people talk about no strikes to the ground of the opponent, no knees to the head, no kicks to the head. to me, the biggest difference between the amateur and the professional MMA tonight is the 3-minute rounds compared to the 5-minute rounds. Of course, you'll get the knockouts by the knees to the head, but the extra 2 minutes would just make night and day difference to these kids.
Yeah, and here we see one of those really just beautiful body tosses by Nathan Wilkins. Definitely showed himself to be a bit stronger in the upper body in that opening round, landing a couple of takedowns, using essentially the same technique on both occasions. See Hayden Harrison here, he's taking some deep breaths. We'll have a look at this slam by Wilkins as he tried to get out of that submission attempt by Harrison. Boom! You see him bounce off the cage, but a lot of times, Dean, that just allows the guy on the bottom to really get that in tighter if you don't get out of it, like you said.
That's what I was touching on earlier. Slams can be effective if you finish the fight, but if you don't, if you're in a triangle or an arm bar, it's just going to make it that much tougher because it's going to sink it right in. It's just, to me, it's the same. There's 2 moves in the pro level, one being the slam, the other being a heel hook. If you go for a heel hook and you don't get it, you're going to be in a lot of danger.
Well, what you want to be doing as a fighter there when you're slamming him down is you really want to be whipping it around. So his head's going to slam into the ground when he gets down there first rather than his back. Round 2 kicks off as both fighters touch gloves and take to the center of the cage. Harrison dives in with the flying knee, lands another couple knees to the body of Wilkins pressed up against the cage. And you see Wilkins there trying to get the fight to the ground again. I think he knows or feels that he has an advantage over Harrison down there. But man, wow, and it looks like it because Harrison is landing nicely here. Wilkins answering with the knee of his own. But it's Harrison looking for the takedown, but Wilkins reverses it and moves into the closed guard of Harrison. Now we'll see what happens this time. The end of the first round, Wilkins did nothing in this position, but where we're only a minute into the second round, he's definitely got a lot more time where he's going to have to work and can't afford to just sit there. Hopefully referee Len Koivisto has about as much appetite as I do for this kind of tactic and gets his feet back to its feet right away.
Hayden Harrison being working hard from his back, those little elbows to the tops of the shoulders of Nathan Wilkins, doing a lot of damage. He's scoring points from his back. Just because you're on your back, especially when you don't have to worry about getting punched in the head, you're able to score a little bit from that position.
Yeah, I don't know how much damage he's doing there, but he's definitely scoring points because Wilkins, I got to be honest, I'm very disappointed. He gets the fight to the ground and does absolutely nothing, not even a body shot. He's just merely using it as an opportunity to lay there and relax. Oddly enough, we see Harrison pull guard here and try and bring the fight down. I think maybe he senses that, Wilkins isn't going to do anything here, so he might as well try and work his submission game. And even though they're just elbows to the shoulder, it's the only thing happening. And in judges' eyes, it's all relative. And if you're doing something versus nothing, I'm praying that they're going to score that more than just the takedown. Although in this case, it was Harrison who pulled guard to bring the fight down there. We finally see a body shot from Wilkins as he gets out of Harrison's guard and comes back to his feet. Both fighters exchanging jabs as some blood starts to trickle out of the nose of Wilkins. These two are just both trading jabs, one for another. Nice Superman punch that's answered with a hard right by Wilkins. And a good show of respect there by both fighters as they make their way to their corners at the end of the second round. Tough one to call, Dean, 2 rounds into this. I don't know if either fighter's really put his stamp on this fight to steal rounds from one another. It's been quite a back and forth affair.
Yeah, it's tough to say that either fighter put their stamp on it, but from what I can tell, the way I've got it right now, I've got Hayden Harrison up 2 rounds to none. He's been the more active of those fighters. When there's been those exchanges, he's been able to do a little bit more damage. We see here he's on his back. We can see those elbows we talked about, targeting the tops of the shoulders, right beside the neck. There's a lot of pressure points in there. If you're able to get that, it's almost like giving a fighter a stinger, and your whole arm will go numb.
Yeah, and you see there Wilkins the whole time just laying and praying.
No, I don't think it's a shot. I don't think it puts Hayden Harrison in a position to finish the fight, but it's definitely got him ahead of scorecards in my position. As we can see, Nathan Wilkins shoot with a right hand, but Hayden Harrison's able to slip it, land a couple punches of his own, and then pull guard here, getting the fight back to the ground. When he's on his back, he's been working hard for the submissions. Even though he hasn't got them, he's still working hard to get them. And in my opinion, he's outworking Nathan Wilkins so far through the first 2 rounds of this fight.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. We'll see how it goes. Nathan Wilkins come by and gives us a thumbs up as we move into round 3 here. Looks like he's feeling fresh and ready to go for another 3 minutes here. That blood's turned into a pretty steady stream coming out of the nose of Wilkins there.
Yeah, and the way he's breathing through his mouth, I wouldn't be surprised if Nathan Wilkins has a broken nose.
Yeah, nice knees to the body there by Hayden Harrison, cutting through on a good one to the solar plex, followed by an uppercut. But Wilkins answers with a couple uppercuts of his own. Both fighters looking for their openings as they clinch up along the cage and jostle for position. And each one's getting through. Each one's finding a home for their strikes as Len Koivisto warns Hayden Harrison about holding the shorts. Harrison drops down looking for a single, but Wilkins is having none of it and just tosses him off to the side. Oh, and a good combination landed there by Harrison.
That right hand by Wilkins hurt Hayden Harrison. I could see his head snap back, and all of a sudden it's like Nathan Wilkins has found a second gear. He's found his second win. He's starting to throw a little bit punches with a little bit more meaning, targeting the head of Hayden Harrison.
Yeah, no, I think that that one definitely hurt Hayden as we see him shoot in here for the double leg. Wilkins defending really nicely, though. He's got his legs spread, keeping his center of balance.
I can hear the corner of Nathan Wilkins telling Nathan to pull out of that guillotine and separate from the fighter. They feel that Hayden Harrison's out of gas, and they want him. They want Nathan to give up that submission and move back. However, Hayden's doing a good job of pinning Nathan against the cage.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got a good hold of Nathan here and controlling him, looking to get this fight back to the ground. You know, although they're trading punches tit for tat, I might have to say that Wilkins might be the harder striker of the two, as it looks like Harrison wants us down immediately as they get down there. Wilkins, though, transitions to the triangle. And he's got his foot locked in there. It's not a cross. He needs it a little higher. It's a little too low on the toes there. And he needs to get the arm of Harrison pulled across his neck if he really wants to sink this in.
Going back to the last fight when Trent House was in this position and was able to finish the fight, he had his cornerman right there walking him through it.
That's what he was
but
missing.
there he did. Yeah, exactly. He's able to pull it in tighter now. 20 seconds left here in the third round. It'll be very interesting to see if Nathan Wilkins can finish this fight here. And he does. Nathan Wilkins is able to finish the fight with about 15 seconds left in the third round. And you can see it, the blood dripping down his face. But he was able to dig deep, get that second win, and finish the fight. In my opinion, I am down 2 rounds going into that final round.
Yeah, no, definitely a great finish from him. You know, we didn't see much from him when he was on top earlier. Let's see this finishing move here. You see the arm pulled across. Harrison bucking to get out the last gasp. And that was it. Nathan Wilkins didn't even need Len Koivisto in there to tell him the fight was done. He respected the tap and released the hold.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Len Koivisto stops this bout at 2 minutes 49 seconds of the third round. Your winner by triangle choke in the blue corner, Nathan Warrior Wilkins.